Welcome back, boxing fans, to another great show with Sean on boxing and my co host, Lily. Strong but quiet type. Obviously, this weekend we have a great weekend of boxing. I made a short video prepping earlier this week. Hopefully, you watched it. If you didn't, go check it out, even though you are going to get the full version today. Uh, I will see you after this short message. Tell a friend. Welcome back, everybody, to a great show with Sean on boxing. So I was so excited about doing this video because it's going to be such a great weekend of boxing. I did it today instead of tomorrow because I was just sitting around thinking, what the hell? Why am I going to wait for Wednesday when I could do it Tuesday? And then maybe I could do other videos for the rest of the week as well. So lucky you. We're going to be chopping it up today, talking about a great weekend of boxing, which is fantastic. Obviously, we had the PBC fight card last week. Not that it was disappointing, but I mean, it was just cherry pick bounce back fights for two fighters, right? One of whom ended up getting beat, right? Stopping a pay-per-view fight that really people weren't really that interested in paying for anyway. So, it is what it is. Outside of that, it's been a quiet few weeks, but this weekend, shit's kicking off. So let's get to it. Let's say hello to everyone jumping in. Drunk Irishman, what's up? Garden Snake, what's up? Hard Recoil, what's up? Wayne Evans, Technique, what's up? Technique says Keyshawn Davis going to knock Edwin Santos out. That's a fact. Straight fact. Haney and Tio is apparently official. I made a video today about that early on in the morning. If you didn't check it out, what the hell's going on with you? Wake the fuck up. Be the first to learn the news. I mean, as I said in my video earlier today, this is the logical direction that both Haney and Tio should move. Obviously, when Turki Al-Sheikh put Tio on that undercard, it was for the main purpose that if something unfortunate happened between either Haney or Ryan Garcia, they had a potential replacement opponent on hand. And that obviously is Tio. Obviously, Tio was trying to talk himself into bigger and better fights, potentially against Boots Ennis. And in truth, I would prefer kind of the Boots Ennis-Tio fight, just because stylistically, I think it's a much more interesting fight. Boots is going to bring the pressure, and Tio, a counterpuncher, he's going to have opportunities to counter or get run over, right? So it's just going to be an entertaining fight. The problem with Devin Haney is if he fights the way he needs to fight to beat David Lopez, it's going to be a boring fight where a guy is trying to use his feet and jab and move around the ring, trying to make it difficult for a guy who historically has struggled against movers. And so, as a boxing fan, I understand it's a good fight. I recognize it. I tip my hat to both guys. Congratulations on signing the contract. Obviously, this is a fight that's been marinating for quite some time, ever since both guys were at 135. So the fact that it's getting done now at 147 definitely benefits Devin Haney, not Tio, because Tio is no way in shape a 147-pound fighter. The guy's never fought at 147 pounds. His last fight was 140 pounds, defending his WBO title. So Devin Haney has all the benefits in this fight as far as being the naturally bigger fighter. But stylistically, I think he's going to make it a boring fight to win. And fine, he may get the victory, but he ain't going to make a lot of fans in the process. But let me know what you think about that fight. Are you hyped? Is it a fight that you're eager to see for 2025? Abdullah and Keyshawn win. Is that possible next? No chance. No chance. Abdullah Mason, another top-ranked fighter, he's next in line to take over that WBO title when Keyshawn moves to 140. And now, obviously, Lopez is moving to 147. That belt is right there for Keyshawn Davis. So don't be surprised after this fight that Keyshawn Davis moves up to 140 to become a two-weight world champion. I mean, to be fair, Abdullah Mason's young. He's also big. So the possibility of him and Keyshawn meeting somewhere down the line at 140 is a real big possibility, but not next. I think he and Abdullah will beat Nakatila and Edwin better than Shakur did. I think so, for sure. Stylistics, right? Styles make fights. Will Teal's showboating head movement work against Haney's jab and straight? He will have success, but the problem is if he needs to chase after Devin Haney, it's going to be those fights where he's just not active enough to be effective. He's the shorter fighter, got the shorter reach. Physically, he's going to be the smaller fighter. So it's not even like he's going to be able to be physically strong against Devin Haney, right? So it'll be interesting. But I mean, if you guys just saw a picture recently of Devin Haney, who was he standing beside? He was standing beside a cruiserweight champion, I think. And Devin Haney looked fucking giant. Giant. He looks like he's at least 185, 190 pounds. Easily. Easily. Right? The dude's big. Big. I mean, if you want to talk about, I saw JB talking about how Ryan Garcia is a weight bully. Well, in that case, so is fucking Devin Haney. Devin Haney's next opponent is a 140 pounder who he's pulling up to 147. The fact is, it's a good fight, but it's not a fight I'm excited about. I would much rather have saw Boots versus Tio, and I'd much rather see Boots get the clout from beating Tio and moving forward in his career. Devin Haney, he may make us forget his last performance and how boring he was. He may come out and impress us in this fight against Tio. I doubt it, but he may. You never know. But the reality of the situation is, after his last performance, I think a lot of people just aren't really that interested in seeing him do anything next. The most realistic fight that he should have been doing was Rolly Romero, right? Both guys fighting at 147. Rolly beat Ryan, so it's the natural fight. But obviously, Rolly is trying to chase after that Mario Barros Manny Pacquiao fight because he's still obviously involved with the PBC. And the PBC loves to fucking sell us garbage consistently. You shouldn't chase a runner, but wait for him. Yeah, the problem with doing that is not much fucking might happen in the process, right? Not much might happen in the process. I guess it depends on how determined the runner is to run. But needless to say, we don't need to worry about those guys. Obviously, you've got bigger and better things to focus on this coming weekend. And here we go. Guard Snake, you're a king. Sean, who has the trainer advantage, Devin or Tio? The truth is, I think both of their fucking training fathers are garbage, right? Two big mouth motherfuckers that just trying to fucking clout chase off of their son's success, right? Tio and fucking Devin Haney. I would prefer both of them to be working with somebody legitimate, right? Both fathers obviously did well. Both sons became world champions and accomplished a lot. But how far can your father take you? Especially when your father doesn't have a history of being a celebrated trainer. Dave Esther says, your boy Rappaport stopped a guy who went deep with Moses Atoma. Do you think maybe he was drained at cruiserweight? Oh, I think he probably was drained. If you ever see that dude, man, he's ripped like a motherfucker. That dude got no fat on him, even at heavyweight. So imagine how he was really sucking it down to get to cruiserweight. No, I always thought Richard Rappaport was good. I picked him to beat what's-his-face. I was surprised he ended up losing that fight. But I expect him to be a real killer at the heavyweight division. Obviously, he's not the most technically efficient fighter, but, he is a specimen. That's for sure. He's a specimen. That guy is a superhero fucking out of a costume. Pound for Pound King, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Dave says, I would still have liked to see Rappaport fight Opataya. Well, and unfortunately, he ended up losing to what's-his-face, so that fight wasn't able to be done. That's how the fucking, the ball rolls sometimes. Sometimes you don't get what you want, you get what you need. But this week is fight week, Saturday, June 7th. We got a card, another great card from Top Rank. Obviously, Top Rank, the depth with up-and-coming prospects is ridiculous. When you think about the three Davis brothers, then, of course, Troy Isley. I think Troy is, never going to be a star, but, he's going to be a consummate contender, obviously. And then you think about fucking Abdullah Mason. Abdullah Mason, who truthfully may have more upside and potentially a better career than Keyshawn Davis, right? Yes, Tiger Johnson is improving. And that's the thing, right? You get these guys out so consistently. They're fighting a lot, something PBC just doesn't do with its young prospects, not to the extent the Top Rank does. They get these dudes out constantly, getting them rounds, getting them fights. And this is what young guys need. They need rounds, right? They need experience. And obviously, Tiger Johnson showed you that that's definitely improved him because of that. Rappaport versus Wardley, that'd be a fun fight. I think Wardley stops him though, but it would still be a fun fight as long as it lasted for sure. It's going to be an interesting fight. Oh, I didn't even talk about that. On my PPT, I didn't even mention the fact that Wardley is fighting Justice Hooney this weekend. So let's talk about that since you brought it up, because once I start scrolling through my PPT, we're not going to see that. Obviously, I think Wardley is a hard puncher. He's a monster, just another great heavyweight from the UK. And he's going to be fighting Justice Hooney, an Australian heavyweight, obviously very good amateur pedigree, a guy that is a very skilled boxer, more skilled than Wardley, for sure. But the question is he skilled enough to stay away from Wardley's power for 12 rounds to win the unanimous decision? Because if you're going to bet on that fight, you definitely pick Hooney to win by decision and Wardley to win by knockout. And my prediction is Wardley by knockout. Let me just see. I made my predictions yesterday in my prediction league. Let's see if I can have a better week this week. Last week was not so great. There we go. Wardley by 5th round. Jeffers, Ferreira, Keyshawn, Mason, Isley, Johnson, Cedeno, Albright, and of course the late additions, Junto, Tenshin, and Obataya. It's going to be a good weekend. So good that I even forgot Justice Hooney was fighting. Will Hooney get the Australian upset? They are good for one big one. I don't think so. Right. I don't think he's going to beat Wardley. Not at all. I mean, Australian fighters do well, but they seem to be limited, really, for the most part, just because I think when you're stuck down there, you just limit your potential for growth, right? Maybe that's one reason Tim Tszyu was so eager to get out of Australia and fight in the States. For Hooney, I think also he's kind of limited himself by being stuck down under. I think he's in with a bad man. As I said, I would not be surprised if Hooney outboxed him, but at the same time, I can't imagine Hooney going 12 rounds without getting fucking hit by something clean. We need to get your comments on Canelo Reynoso getting caught juicing up another team member. Oh, fuck, Rick. I don't give a shit. Literally, I never give a shit about this stuff. Only fucking haters focus on this. Because the reality is they're looking for something to hate on Canelo for. The reality is, who gives a fuck? I mean, if you are so naive that you think the top fighters in boxing aren't cheating, I don't know what to tell you. All these dudes are all fucking juicing. They're all cheating, right? That's why dudes fight twice a year, so they can fucking be on the cycle, get off before the fights, and reap the benefits off season, so when they step into the ring. That's why Floyd Mayweather wouldn't release his fucking fight dates until the last minute. So he had more than enough time to get off the juice. Tank Davis is doing the same thing. The Tevin Farmer fight still hasn't officially been fucking announced, meaning that there will be no drug testing until the fight is fucking announced, meaning that Tank Davis is able to fucking come off, be cleaner. So don't be surprised if he's more fucking dominant and explosive in the rematch. But it is what it is, man. Like, I don't care. The Frenchman didn't deserve that. Bruno should get a fair fight. Wow. Dude, man, this is sports. It ain't hurting fucking Bruno. Bruno now is guaranteed another big money fight, right? So it ain't hurting him. Him getting an opportunity to fight Munguia, stopping Munguia, who would have been juicing then too. It's not like Munguia wasn't juicing then when he was fighting in fucking Mexico, right? Come on. All these dudes that are making millions of dollars, they got teams around them. The fact Sorry, I just curious what's on my floor. Is it water? Where did water come from? Or is it piss? No, doesn't smell like piss. But hey, maybe Lily fucking had an accident. Or maybe I did and I didn't notice. You know what happens when you get older? You either can't piss or you can't control your piss. John McSmith, what's up? Oh yeah. So I mean, really, Rick, I don't care about PED stuff. I never fucking care about it. I don't talk about it. I don't use it as a way to fucking hate on fighters because I believe all fighters are using it. The only people that love to use it are people that specifically are trying to hate on certain fighters, right? And that's when they're so focused on it. They're not worried about it when it's somebody that's obscure that they don't like or there's no narrative to push, right? Then they don't care. It's only when there's specific people and they can push a narrative where they want to focus on that stuff. I don't care. Doesn't bother me. Everyone's juicing. Fuck, man. If I was them, I'd be juicing too. I should just be juicing now just for the fucking hell of it. I'll be fucking sitting here fucking with my shirt off going, But let's click through and see what's going on. So this Saturday from Virginia, the Scope Arena, it just shows you how big Keyshawn Davis is really growing. Like right now, after this fight, Keyshawn Davis very well might be bigger than Haney, bigger than Shakur, bigger than fucking Teofimo Lopez. Not bigger than Tank or Ryan Garcia, but like just behind those two guys, right? He did over 10,000 tickets the first time he went to the Scope. He's going to obviously do great numbers this time as well. I mean, if he goes in there and fucking does what I think he's going to do, which is get rid of fucking Edwin De Los Santos in a fucking hot minute, people are going to be all over this dude for potentially pound for pound, right? Because, you know, when you have exciting victories, one after another, after another, people are going to talk about it, right? You're just going to get tons of attention based on the dynamic style that you're winning fights. Something, of course, Haney and Shakur will never have to worry about. That's not a concern they need to worry about. But obviously for Keyshawn, you know, he's becoming a real player right now, a real player. Literally the only guy really in the 135-pound division that could really dictate anything to him is Tank Davis, because none of the other guys are any bigger than he is. Not Loma, not fucking Shakur, nobody. But we will see. I mean, I think it's going to be a great card. Obviously, you got Davis versus De Los Santos, his brother versus Nair Albright, obviously a fighter that Keyshawn Davis fought recently. Abdullah Mason back in the ring against Jermaine Nakatila, up-and-coming Yuri Sendeno, Delonte Johnson, Troy Isley, and then, of course, Keon Davis, the younger brother as well. So it's an exciting card full of young, up-and-coming prospects in the Top Rank stable. And Top Rank, they have a good stable of young guys. Here we go. Keyshawn Davis, 13-0, 9 KOs. Chalk that shit up to 14-10, right? And it should be 15-10 because he should have got that victory over Albright. But unfortunately, the fix was in. You know, who fucking ever got screwed on a blood test for drugs because they were smoking weed? As if weed fucking makes you a better boxer. I have never seen anybody who's improved as a sports person because they're smoking fucking weed. Edwin De Los Santos, 16-2, tough motherfucker. Never been stopped, right? I think he got dropped, if I'm not mistaken, by Valenzuela, and obviously then got up and stopped Valenzuela. So it'll be an interesting fight. If Davis stops De Los Santos, that, my friends, is a fucking statement. And here, let me list it right now for everyone to fucking follow. If and when Keyshawn Davis stops De Los Santos, don't be too surprised when moments afterwards the fucking narratives come out. Oh, De Los Santos has been inactive. Oh, De Los Santos is coming off of an injury. Oh, Keyshawn Davis is on PEDs. Oh, you know, all the fucking excuses are going to come out because there's a huge amount of people, American YouTubers primarily, not PBC, and not Bud Crawford fans primarily, that just aren't going to support this guy. Even if they look like this guy, they're not going to support him because he's on the wrong fucking team. He's on the wrong side of the tracks. He's on the wrong road, and they're just not going to give this kid the respect he deserves. Even though he's a great interview, he's super entertaining, right? He looks like a monster right now. A monster. If you want to say he's on PEDs, I won't fucking disagree with you. But he looks good. Dude looks jacked, man. Jacked and ready. So I think it's going to be a good fight. I think his speed and better technical ability is going to be way too much for Edwin De Los Santos. I expect a huge counter shot to fucking drop De Los Santos, and that's going to be the fucking beginning of the end for that dude. Dick Justice says, Hooney's lack of power, I got Wardley. Exactly. Yeah, that's the biggest problem with Hooney as a heavyweight. The dude got no power to keep a motherfucker off of him, right? So what are you going to do when you're facing big motherfucking beasts that hit like trucks? Stringer says Shakur is going to start hating hard on Keyshawn if he stops De Los Santos. I don't know if he's going to hate on him because, why would you do that? They're obviously on the same team. They got each other's back. He knows that Keyshawn is going to move to 140, which isn't going to impact Shakur because Shakur is going to hold it down at 135, right? If Tank Davis ever gets off his fucking wrinkled ass and takes on the challenge, you got the best fight, one of the best fights in boxing at 135. And that has nothing to do with Keyshawn Davis, who can go to 140 and beat up fucking Richard Hitchens, beat up fucking all the other bum-ass fucking fighters there, as well as Russell and whoever. Sean, why do you think PBC keeps making Carmel Moten fights not televised? I don't know. The PBC just got a knack for fucking not building dudes up correct. It's kind of the same way they dropped the ball on fucking Boots Ennis, right? They'd have him on cards, but they never really highlighted him. PBC and Floyd. Tio and Haney is official. It is official. But Kay, tell me, is that a fight you really are interested in? Is that a fight you're excited about? I mean, I know they're joined together. They've been fucking going back and forth for years since 135. But Tio's no 147-pound fighter. Haney's a 147-pound fighter easily, right? To be fair, it'd probably be better for fucking Tio to stay at 140 and potentially fight Keyshawn Davis when he comes up for his WBO title. That shit would be more interesting. No, we know it's true. Yeah, we talked about it already. We already mentioned it. For Floyd being the best ever and richest, I noticed his stable of fighters is weak. Broner really brought Tank to him. He's trustworthy. So how do you know it's official, Jay? I think it's official. I was hearing it's official in the morning, like 12 hours ago. I already made my official video. But let's see what else is on this card. Here's the fight that I pick, and I'm picking an upset. Calvin Davis, Keyshawn's older brother, 15-0, 8 KOs, is going to be fighting Naira Albright, 16-2, 7 KOs. This is the same Albright that gave Keyshawn Davis a lot of problems, right? I felt Keyshawn Davis beat him and beat him clearly, but this was no easy pick, right? This dude was a real test, slick, difficult, able to control range, right? Really able to sort of take dudes' weapons away from them. And I think this is potential the money fight if you want to pick an upset. I would not be surprised to see Albright move to 17-2, stopping Calvin Davis, putting a 1 on his undefeated record. But it is what it is, right? I mean, when you step up and take on good opponents, if he beats them, that's a fucking great win. It really means that Calvin Davis is going to be right in line for a world title fight by the end of 2025. If he loses, it just shows you, not everybody is made equal. Just because your brother is Keyshawn Davis don't mean you are going to be one of the best fighters in boxing. You may be a contender, but look at Nonito Donaire's brother. Who talks about him? Look at Cotto's brother. Who talks about him? Look at Canelo's brother. Who talks about him? Right? You got the brothers that just never really live up to the expectations of their other brother. You usually get one superstar. You don't usually get 2 or 3. And then, of course, we got the man holding it down, Abdullah Mason, 18-0 with 16 KOs. In truth, I think this is an easy fight. I won't say it's a cherry pick, but I mean, you can see Jamal Nakatia, 26-4, knocked out 2 times. Still, obviously, power, 21 knockouts and 26 wins. But this guy already fucking been exposed, right? He been getting knocked out and beaten quite a bit recently, right? And he just doesn't look as good as he did when he fought Shakur Stevenson. When he fought Shakur, nobody knew who he was. He was a hard puncher. He was at 130 pounds, where obviously he was big and long and stronger than his opposition. Also very awkward. So he made it difficult for guys to get to him, right? And obviously Shakur felt that power because he was awkward. He didn't want to risk anything against him. Once that dude moved up to 140, we saw what happened. Raymond Muratalla fucking killed him, destroyed him, walked through him. So I expect Abdullah Mason to be even more dominant than Muratalla. Not that he's on the same level right now. Obviously, Muratalla is a baby belt champion for the IBF, a real contender in the 135-pound division, older, more experienced. But the guy with more skill and more upside is Abdullah Mason, 150 fucking percent. There's nobody that would say that, next year in 2026, if Abdullah Mason faces Raymond Muratalla for the IBF title, they ain't picking Abdullah Mason to win. I don't think there's anybody, unless people that are literally on Raymond Muratalla's fucking team. Garden Snake says Tio and Davis going heads up with Tank versus Roach on the same day, August 16th. Yeah, 2 fights that really, the only good thing you can say is the Tio Devin fight going to be pay-per-view? Because if it's not, that's going to be the fight that people tune into. Because really, Tank Davis and Roach, do you still want to spend $80 on that fight? Really? At least Tio card will be earlier, so it shouldn't overlap with Tank. Well, that's good too, right? You obviously want to make sure that they layer this shit so that if people want to watch both cards, they can. Because the worst thing in boxing is the fact that fights are at the same time, stopping people from watching one card because of the other. That shit's garbage. It's terrible. Obviously, it's nice that we got multiple screens in our house so we can do it, but it's just not the same when you're fucking flipping from one, flipping to the other, not being able to focus like you should, right? You just want to focus on one thing. Like, even if I have basketball on my big screen and I'm watching boxing here, I'm barely even watching basketball. Only when it's the minute between breaks, then I kind of look up and I'm watching what's going on. Otherwise, that's just background fucking noise, man. Background noise. But, it's going to be interesting to see Abdullah Mason and how he grows. Because right now, people are really looking at him as, this new version of Boots Ennis, really, right? The dude's tall, fast, powerful. He's easily going to grow into a 135, 140, 147-pound fighter. So 3 divisions, no problem for this kid. We'll see what his brothers turn into, too. He's obviously got, 4 brothers? He's obviously got a lot of brothers who are fighters as well. So we'll see if any of them have the stones that Abdullah Mason has. I hope Tio really focuses on aggressively cutting off the ring. Dev is going to run 2 times as much as he did against Jose. If Dev fights like that, his career is fucking over. Even if he gets the win, literally nobody's going to fucking want to watch that dude fight anymore. Never. Like, you were so boring and so negative against fucking Ramirez. If you go out there against Tio and fight like that, hold and run, man, people are going to have the same attitude they have with William Skull. Nobody cares if they ever see that guy fight again. It's like when we watched Bartholomew fight Robert Easter Jr. Literally the worst fucking fight I've ever seen. Garbage. And I'm glad I've never seen one of those guys fight since that, because I don't need to see them fight. I don't want to see them fight. I'm not trying to say they can't fight and get paid and make money. It's just I ain't fucking watching. I don't care. Don't tell me they're fighting because I'm not interested. Devin probably taking a page out of Jermaine Ortiz playbook versus Tio. Of course he will. Yeah. We know Tio struggles with movers, right? So this is not the kind of fight where somehow Devin is not going to be more of a fucking boxer and mover. No, it's the perfect style. Like literally, stylistically, this is more of a guy you need to run against than Ramirez. At least Ramirez, his hands are slow. Devin Haney, when they actually threw fucking against each other, Devin's hands are faster. He could let his hands go before Ramirez could. He could land shots before Ramirez was set. You can't do that against Tio. Tio is faster than fucking Devin Haney, more explosive than Devin Haney. So you're not going to want to exchange with Tio because you just might end up getting fucking Richard Comate. Then, of course, we have the card I'm looking forward to out of Japan. Man, I know a lot of people don't know these fighters, but literally there's 4 fights on this card that are well worth watching. The 2 under ones, number 5 and 6. I'm not familiar with those guys, but that doesn't mean they're not going to be fun to watch. They just probably won't even be on television. The top 3 fights for sure will be on television. Rico Masuda, I would expect that he's on television, but he may not because obviously Top Rank is carrying it and showing it in the US. So we don't know exactly which fights they're going to show. They may only show the first 2 fights, right? Tenshin and Junto. They might not even show the up and coming kid Tomoyo. We will see. I hope they show those 4 fights, but you never know. Devin should have tuned up Ramirez badly, but it was like he was waiting for that Ryan left hook to come out of nowhere and catch him. And that's the thing. Ramirez got a good left hook, but he doesn't have the explosive left hook that Ryan Garcia has, right? He's much more of a grinder, a guy that's going to get you against the ropes and work you to the body and throw that left hook up. So it's much more predictable, right? Like when I saw that fight, I said, Ramirez has the tools to potentially beat Devin Haney, but at this point of his career, it should be easy work for Devin Haney, right? Younger, faster, right? Better legs. It's not uncommon for fighters to be gun shy coming off of a loss like that. I'm surprised he's taking the Tio fight this soon. But Haney only has himself to blame. Like literally Devin Haney suspended himself for 1 fucking year. Ryan Garcia got suspended because he got caught cheating. Why the fuck did Devin Haney take a year off? He could have bounced back with a fucking gimme fight well before being put on that New York card. He had every opportunity to get back in the ring against a lesser opponent and get some rounds in. He priced himself out of a fight with Martin, where he could have defended his WBC title, but he didn't want to do it. These dudes now are just prima donnas. He thinks that somehow every fight he's going to have is $5 million, yet nobody even gives a fuck about watching him fight. Literally. If I never saw him fight again, I would not fucking be upset. Lennox Lewis had to take multiple rebuild fights after getting knocked out the first time. Yeah, but Lennox Lewis got knocked out. Devin Haney didn't get knocked out. He fucking lasted. He got up. He went the distance. Jose has a shot for a while. Dude can't pull the trigger to save his life. Well, that's the problem, right? He's still a good fighter, but unfortunately, physically, he's just not what he wants. Kind of like fucking Caleb Plant, who looked washed this past weekend. I'm not really familiar with Junto as opponent, but glad he's unifying. It makes him moving up to fight Inui at 122 more realistic. Yeah, and when you got 4 dudes that are Japanese holding the titles, it would seem a little ridiculous if you didn't fucking unify against any of them because they're all like countrymen. So even though we're not talking about these guys and the fights between them, in Japan, this shit's a hot topic, right? If we could read Japanese and watch Japanese YouTube channels, fucking they're gushing about the 118-pound division and obviously 122 with Inui, right? They're all over these divisions. They're talking about this division like crazy. 4 world champions at 118 pounds, all different styles, right? So, you got a very big intrigue. One of them beat Inui's brother, even more reason to be hyped about that division. So, You know, in Japan, the people are fucking stoked to see this fight. Even if in the States and globally, maybe people are not as up to par about what's going on. Lennox got Emmanuel Stewart after that loss, so probably wanted a few fights to get acclimatized to. Yeah, well, that's also true, right? You get a new trainer. You obviously want to get a fight against a lesser opponent so you can sort of embed the new things you're trying to like sort of add to your style. So, I mean, even Klitschko, right? I'm sure Klitschko took a few bounce back fights after the first time he got knocked out. Who was it against the South African guys? Corey Sanders, or who? I can't remember, but he obviously got knocked out a few times as well, and also joined Emmanuel Stewart to make adjustments. But I think this fight card is going to be fun, and it's on Top Rank, so there's no reason people shouldn't be watching it. Right here, you got Junto, 30-0, 23 KOs. This kid's a good kid. I was watching a video on YouTube uh, in connection with Top Rank, but mostly talking about his new that new promotional company, right? What is it? They manufacture clothes and gloves and shoes and different stuff. What is it? Something, and they're pretty well fucking hooked. Junto is obviously one of the guys they sponsor. Bud Crawford is one of the guys they sponsor, and Bibble is one of the guys they sponsor. So right there, if you're building a new brand, having those three guys is pretty good, man. Bud Crawford covers the American market, obviously Bivol the European market, and then you got Junto who covers the Asian market, right? And two of them very young. I mean, I know Bivol's not young, but I mean he's young enough that he's got quite a few years left in his career. And then Junto's very young. Obviously Crawford is not that young, but the dude's fighting Canelo Alvarez next, right? You don't get bigger fucking promotion than that. I mean, that shit's huge. Vitali used to come clean up the mess. He looked terrified against Lionel Butler. Who looked terrible against Lionel Butler? And then, of course, we have Nishida, 10-0, 2 KOs. Nishida's good, man. He's a very skilled left-hand boxer, right? Not a big puncher, but very technical, right? It's going to be a chess match, really, this fight, stylistically, right? It's not going to be one of the more exciting kind of fights we usually get at the smaller weight classes. Because obviously, Junto, he likes to stay on the outside, use his length and his reach and set up his power shots. Nishida is going to be moving, changing angles, trying to keep Junto sort of off balance behind his jab, and using a lot of movement, just try to take away his weapons to win rounds. Obviously, Nishida is going in there to win a decision. Junto's going in there to win fucking by impressive KO. And I think it's going to be a good fight. Maybe not the most exciting fights, but at the end of the day, these are the kind of fighters you need to fight. Skilled dudes that are going to make you work for it, right? Aren't going to like just walk into your power shots, aren't going to make it easy for you. You got to find a way to get to this guy. And I think that's part of the battle here, because when you think about the other two champions in that division, neither of them are nearly as skilled as Nishida, right? They're both more of power punchers, a little more wild, a little more unorthodox, the two of them. Tatsumi, who I think is the guy that beat Inui, if I'm not mistaken, and then the other one. But let me see, where's those videos? Junto. There it is.
Maybe 6, 7 rounds.
I think this is the owner or the main guy that starts up that company. First 24 hours in camp with Junto Nagatani, as they just signed him to the new product. It's cool because you get to see Junto just in the gym, them hanging out. What's the name of the brand? Why can't I see it? Box something. What's wrong with me? They got like lots of gear they're trying on. Shit, Scheiße.
Crazy, you just got live.
Man, I don't know. And you guys, Junto is, yeah, he's a big favorite. What the hell is the brand, man? Did you guys watch this? Oh, there it is. Box Raw. Leave it to one of the Japanese people to highlight it. Go Junto, Box Raw. Yeah. You got to bet the round to make some real money for sure. I mean, with a fight like Junto against this guy, you're not betting this fight to make money. You want to make money this weekend. You're going to bet maybe Justice Hooney to win by decision over Wardley, right? Or maybe even Wardley. I don't know what the odds are for that fight, but maybe even Wardley by KO, right? That's probably your best bet to make money. Or the one I picked where I said Albright to beat Davis, even though I think the odds are going to be pretty close. I don't think Davis's brother is going to be a huge favorite versus Albright, but I could be wrong. But nonetheless, it should be fun. Then, of course, this one, everybody remembers this guy, Tenshin Nasukawa, 6-0, 2 KOs. Not the biggest puncher, but the dude is a real slick fucking Japanese boxer. Really Americanized style too. You can see he really liked Floyd Mayweather, because obviously he's not Floyd, but he's tried to, embrace Floyd's style a lot. Obviously, this is the guy Floyd Mayweather went to Japan to fight, the ex-kickboxer, and Floyd beat him and stopped him. Mind you, the guy is a 122-pound fighter. Floyd's a 147-pound fighter, so you're fighting a much smaller guy. So it's no surprise Floyd went in there and beat him and stopped him, especially a guy who'd never fought professionally before. He was just a kickboxer previously. But, he's really coming around. You can look, he's fighting Victor Santillan, 14-1, right? A very credible opponent. Obviously, this guy, Tenshin, is getting close to a potential world title fight. And these are the kind of guys you need to fight. Skilled fighters. Victor is much longer, right? He's going to have the arm reach over Tenshin. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's still able to box from the outside, even against a guy who's much longer than him, with obviously a lot more experience, 15 professional fights to 6. I'm excited. I'm eager because I always like Tenshin. He's not the power puncher, but he's still a fun fighter to watch. And then this young up-and-comer, Tomoya Tsuboy, 1-0, 1 KO. Look at him fighting this dude who's 18-1, 10 KOs, never been stopped. I mean, talk about, fast-tracking a motherfucker. They're putting this kid in with top-level competition early in his career. So I'm excited to see how good he is. Japan is really producing a lot of good fighters. So don't be surprised in 10 years that Japan is just killing it. And John Boxing is going to fucking close his channel down because he's going to be so disappointed with all the Uzbekistani champions and all the Japanese champions. His brain is just going to fucking explode. It's going to be terrible to watch. He's going to be like fan in boxing, fucking disintegrating on screen for everybody to watch. Disgusting, but scintillating television. Then, of course, we have this kid, Masuda, who was really getting a lot of hype early on in his career as a top prospect. Ended up getting a big fight early on and got beat by decision. Now, obviously, he's bouncing back after that loss. Currently 7-1, 7 KOs against this kid who's 23-5. So, again, they're putting these guys in with real good competition. Solid opponents. This is one of the difference about Japan compared to, say, Thailand. A guy like JB, he won't give Japanese boxers credit. He will say, they've never fought black fighters. It's like, yeah, okay. As if that's fucking relevant, right? The reason they haven't fought black fighters is because there's no good black fighters in those divisions. That's why. But the truth of the situation is these guys literally are facing great competition early on in their careers. You look at my man Ryota Tatsumi, whose brother Hayato is close to getting a world title fight at 130. He already fought on that New York card for his debut. He's going to be facing another quality opponent on his next fight, which is going to be another, Saudi Arabian card, right? And these guys are being put in with good competition, fast-tracked early in their careers, and really given opportunities to excel. But at the same time, like Masuda, if you're fast-tracked like this and put in with quality opposition, you're going to take losses, right? I mean, but of course, it's a learning experience. You look at Sasaki, who's going to be fighting Howard for his WBO welterweight title. He obviously had a loss already on his career as well. Got stopped in his loss, right? So, these guys are being put in tough. Rachel Donaire has Nonito's back in action in June. Philippines must be excited with Manny and Nonito back in action. Oh, it's just sad, though. The Philippines obviously isn't developing any new up-and-coming fighters. The fact that you still need to fucking hang off of these two future Hall of Famers, right? Let these two fucking dudes retire. Where's the new crop of Filipino fighters, right? Japan is producing more and more great quality fighters. What's going on with the Philippines, right? The Philippines is it's a big country. They should be producing a lot of great fighters. It's a poor country, and we know generally to produce great fighters, you got to come from poverty. You got to be a dog. You got to fucking grind your way to the top and have that killer fucking instinct, fight type of mentality, right? And so you compare Japan, first world country, to the Philippines, third world country. Like, the Philippines should be producing more top quality fighters than fucking Japan. The problem is they're not being trained the same. They're not being developed like Japan is. To Japan, obviously developing dudes really young, getting them in camp as kids, and getting them through the technical aspects of boxing early on. So when these kids get into teenagers, technically they're very good. They have lots of experience. Then you just pick and choose the ones that are good. Japanese boxing is on the rise in a big way. The dream is going to box Tio female's head off. Okay, that's why your name is Silly Ass. Your name is Silly Ass. Damon the Crying 3044 in the house. That's true. I keep hearing Mark Maxiah was next up. But Mark Maxiah was never that good. He got gifted the decision versus Gary Russell and then got beat his very next fight. Japan, America, the UK, Mexico, probably the big four now. But don't dismiss Uzbekistan. And now, obviously they don't produce as many fighters, but the video I'm making later this week as well, the Cuban video, there's some real Cuban players as well. Obviously they don't produce as many talented fighters as the States, UK, and Mexico. Maybe as many as Japan, right? And Uzbekistan, similar. Maybe as many as Japan. When we look at overall rankings right now, there's a lot of great Uzbekistan fighters. And when you look at the last Olympics, out of the 8 boxing divisions, Uzbekistan won 6 gold medals. Only 2 divisions, they didn't win gold medals. 2 out of fucking 8. You can't make that shit up. That shit's fucking crazy. But Uzbekistan, right now, you have fucking Jalilov in the heavyweight division. Uzbekistan, one of the best heavyweights in boxing, up-and-comers. Cruiserweight, I don't know anybody that jumps off my head, but I'm sure there must be somebody there. I'm just not aware of them. Obviously, lower divisions, you get guys, man. Iman Katiev is Russian. Obviously, the guy that's going to be facing my Cuban mate, and David Morrell. There's lots of up-and-comers, man. Obviously, the Eastern Europeans, Kazakhstan, Russia, and Uzbekistan is producing. How about Ryan Garcia's excuses after the Rolly beating? Dude, you've been too busy watching John boxing. Like the only person talking about Ryan Garcia is John Boxing. Most people knew Ryan Garcia was overrated. They didn't fucking think he deserved the Tank Davis fight. They fucking didn't make too much of a big deal after that fight. They weren't that excited about Ryan versus fucking Haney, but they saw financially it was a smart move for Haney. Haney got embarrassed because he wasn't able to do what Tank did, and now he got beat by Rolly. The dude's never been a champion. No one's ever said Ryan Garcia was a pound for pound fighter. No one ever had Ryan Garcia pound for pound number 2 above Inui. We know who did though. Some silly ass fucking Lomachenko haters. I would have thought the Philippines would have a huge crop of young talent coming in, especially all the millions of the kids Manny must have inspired. You would think, right? You would think, thanks to Manny, the whole country was around him, that it would just be a whole new crop of people from around the Philippines really being developed. And maybe that's still coming. I hope you support Benavidez Zurdo super fight. Well, that's not a super fight. Benavidez is a cherry picker who fucking is ducking Bivol Beterbiev for undisputed to go fight Zurdo, who's not even the best cruiserweight. Jay Opatayo, who's fighting this weekend, is the best cruiserweight. Not that it's a bad fight, but this is exactly what the PBC gives us. Fights we don't ask for. I also not going to get excited to watch Thurman versus Spence. Just like I'm not excited to see Pacquiao versus Barrios or Tim Tszyu versus fucking Funduro. Those are not the best fights to make. They are the PBC fights to make. They can't forget about the whooping Ryan gave Dev. Oh, well, it's just they feel embarrassed because no matter how many excuses they make, the fact that Devin Haney could not take away Ryan Garcia's left hand, but Rolly Romero could, is difficult for them to swallow. Tank Davis took it away. Rolly Romero took it away. Devin Haney could not take that shit away. He couldn't. You could fucking talk about drugs all you want, but fucking Devin Haney's juiced up crazy. Fucking Tank Davis juiced up crazy. All those dudes are juicing up. So stop your fucking cap. Missing weight. Ryan Garcia is not bigger than Devin Haney. Both those dudes are fucking the same size. Both balloon up big. Actually, Devin Haney is bigger than Ryan Garcia now. You saw that last picture. The dude's 190. Ryan Garcia actually is thinned out, right? He's not as big as he was leading into that Devin Haney fight. He's not nearly as muscular across the chest as he was before. But Devin Haney's looking giant because that dude is on the snack program. He's on snack, that's right. He is. Waldo, your boy got clapped by a C-level fighter, according to Dev. Exactly. That's what makes it even worse. All the cap Devin Haney was saying before that fight, only to go in there, talking about how he's going to knock him out, do this and do that, only to fucking be embarrassed. He brought that on himself. And then to sue him afterwards, and all the shit his dad was saying, these dudes are like Deontay Wilder Glovegate, man. They just can't lose fucking gracefully. And by doing this, all they do is get people fucking clowning them. And then it's like, how come people aren't clowning Ryan Garcia like that? Because no one gives a fuck. No one's that invested in Ryan Garcia. Nobody's been pushing out narratives for fucking 5 years talking about how great Ryan Garcia is, that he's the next Floyd Mayweather. Nobody was saying that shit. Damn, Waldo crashing out. Pound for pound number 2 couldn't take away Ryan's left hook. Exactly. Pound for pound number 2. Better than Usyk. Better than Inui. Better than Canelo. That dude's a god. Okay. Like, you fucking guys hype that dude up like you did fucking Adrian Broner. Remember back in the day? The hype Adrian Broner got? The next Floyd Mayweather. Until he fought Maidana after cherry-picking smaller guys in multiple weight divisions. Finally met someone as big as him, dropped him on his ass, and that was the end of fucking his career. Literally. That was the end of his career. Haney, the suing bitch. Yeah. Like, and that's his dad, right? I don't think that's Devin. Devin's too busy getting his fucking teeth platinumed. But so he looks more street cred. So he looks like he's down. He's one of the fucking, one from the street. Yeah, okay. Maidana weight bullied Broner. No, he didn't. What are you, fucking mental? How did Maidana, a fighter that moved up from 140 to 147, to face Adrian Broner, who'd already fought at 147 against Paulie Malignaggi, weight bully fucking Broner? And if that's the case, why didn't Adrian Broner do anything else with his career afterwards? Literally did fucking nothing. Zero. Zilch. Never had another legitimate win in his career. Even though I felt he beat Sean Porter. No one else believes that, but I do. My nostalgia is excited for Pac-Man. I hope he beats Barrios. And when Tank tries to cherry pick Pac-Man, beats him, and then retires, I can dream. Well, you're dreaming pretty big there, man, because that's like Fannin today, who I'm listening. He's trying to make out Errol Spence, Ugas, Barrios, and Pacquiao are somehow the new fucking Duran, Leonard, Hearns, and who am I missing? Hagler, Leonard, Hearns, and Duran. So they're trying to make them out to be like the four kings. Fucking dude, man, is mental. He should have added Keith Thurman too, because Keith Thurman also fought Manny and Ugas, right? Didn't he fight Ugas? Am I wrong? Oh no, he fought Barrios. Didn't fight Ugas or Spence, but obviously he faced two out of them. And don't be surprised if Spence Thurman is obviously part of the PBC's pay-per-view package later on this year. But listen to this. Maidana weight bullied fucking Broner. People will literally fucking say anything. Like, that's the problem with YouTube boxing formats. Like, you got stupid ass motherfuckers like fucking Dante, Ego, John Boxing, fucking Fannin, who all he does is lie in every video. He ain't telling any truth. That dude's lying, man. Let me tell you, a little bird told me. Errol Spence is in a wheelchair right now. Never going to fight again. Little birdie told me that. So, end of his career. Right? That's the kind of shit he comes out with. Little birdie told me the FBI is investigating Bud Crawford. Like, the shit this dude says, he will fucking say anything. And people actually watch his channel and buy into it because people are stupid as fuck. They believe anything someone tells them. People like silly ass Waldo Schenko, right? You've been hating on Lomachenko for so long, but you're going to clout chase some bum ass motherfuckers that didn't do anything. Errol Spence, his career, nothing close to fucking Lomachenko. Nothing close. And his career didn't end because of drinking and driving. He didn't throw his career away because he's a fucking idiot. That's all Errol Spence. But, you can't talk to people. Here's the real cruiserweight. This is who Zurdo should be fighting for 3-belt unification. Jay Opataya versus Claudio Sequeira. Obviously, this is a bum-ass opponent, but the problem is nobody wants to fight him, right? When you're too dangerous and too good, when motherfuckers don't want to come anywhere close to you, even when you got Saudi Arabian money behind you, right? Just put that in perspective, right? 27-0, 21 knockouts. After this weekend, he's going to be 28-0 with 22 knockouts. I'd love to see Zurdo versus Jay Opataya. Not to get me wrong, I'm not against Benavidez versus Zurdo. It's a good fight, but we know what that is. It's the same thing PBC does all the time. They jam fights that don't need to be made down our throat because they're just looking at what they can do to make pay-per-view. They don't care about the people's legacy. They don't care about boxing fans and what they want. They don't care about the sport as a whole. They just want to jam fucking pay-per-views down our throats. Errol's resume is leagues above Lomo. See, you just expose yourself for being an idiot. The dude's a one-weight champion who was a 3-belt champion, just like Lomachenko, who was a 3-belt champion at 135 pounds. Also fought for undisputed, didn't get knocked out, lost to fucking Tio. Similar. But the difference is he did not get his ass beat all over the ring. He almost stopped Tio in that fight and obviously was close to potentially at least getting a draw late in the fight if Tio hadn't come back and won that 12 rounds convincingly, which was, hats off to Tio, doing exactly what you want a champion to do. But Lomachenko's a 3-weight world champion. My man, fucking Errol, fucking was afraid to fight fucking Bud Crawford, ducked Bud Crawford to do what? Cherry pick Lomachenko's best opponent. Lomachenko should have fought Mikey Garcia for 135 undisputed. Not Errol, cherry picking guy 2 weight classes below him. But Errol Spence' resume is way better. What's great about his resume? He fought Kell Brook coming off of a knockout loss. He fought Mikey Garcia pulling up 2 weight divisions. And then he fought Sean Porter, the best opponent in his resume. And in that fight, he would have fucking lost that fight if he didn't drop fucking Porter late in that fight. His head was swollen up like a fucking football. He got hit so much by Sean Porter in that fight, who's a pretty fucking one-dimensional fighter. And then what did he do? Oh, sorry, he beat Ugis. Fucking, what does that mean? Ugis is a bum-ass fighter. Mario Barros beat fucking Ugis. So what's great about his resume? What has he done that's better than Lomachenko? Please stop. We know fucking Errol looks like you. He's black like you, right? So that's why he's means something to you. I don't know why. What are you fucking dating him? Errol's resume, come on. It went from strap season to excuse season for the Aerosexuals. Exactly. Excuse fucking. That dude's never going to come back. And if he comes back, it's going to be some bullshit fight like Keith Thurman. Garden Snake mentality. A real one. What are your thoughts on Mike McCollum as a boxer? I made a video. Rest in peace, Mike McCollum, the body snatcher. Obviously, a great fighter. He wasn't one of my favorite fighters back in the day. He was that guy that upset my favorite fighters. A guy that fucking you didn't want your favorite fighters to face because this motherfucker found a way to beat them and ruin my parade. But hats off to him. The dude was a great fighter. Obviously, rep Jamaica, the JA fucking in a big way. So good for him. It's a shame because he wasn't that old, only 65. I'm not sure what happened to him. All I know is he had felt uncomfortable driving his car and pulled over to the side of the road, and that was it. In truth, maybe we all should go like that. At least it sounds quick and not too terrible. You don't want to suffer. That way's probably better, to be fair. But it's always sad because I grew up watching guys like him, and now they're kicking the bucket. So it's, makes you feel old, makes you realize that, the end is near. Errol's best win is against a guy coming off of getting his face broken by a great GGG. Exactly. Damon crying in his truck. Errol was a great fighter, but he wasn't a great one. Exactly. I agree with you. Crazy the trash Golovkin for beating Brook. It made Errol top 5 pound for pound for beating Brook. Well, exactly. Right? Golovkin gets zero credit for beating fucking Kell Brook, an undefeated world champion. And they say, oh, they pulled him up in weight. Well, Errol Spence pulled him down in weight. We know the worst thing you can do is pull a guy down in weight. Going up in weight is not the worst thing that can happen. We look at all the guys that came down in weight. Those are the guys that got fucking murdered, had nothing left. He gave James Toney some tough fights. Yes, he did. Stringer from above, they down bad, bro. I also see that Michael Nunn was just put into the Hall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken. I thought I saw that today on my feed. Michael Nunn, one of my favorite fighters growing up. Obviously a slick boxer, but he's kind of like the middleweight Muhammad Ali. Kind of looked like him a bit, boxed like him, also had the good right hand, which if you got hit by it, you felt it. I was very disappointed when fucking James Toney stopped him. That was like, first fucking you got that bum-ass Jamaican from the UK beating Donald Curry, and then you get that bum-ass dude with a fucking woman promoter beating fucking Michael Nunn. Man, that shit was killing me. Cal is one of the guys that had too much heart for his own good. Errol still struggled with Brook as well. He did early on in the fight, right? the first 5 rounds of that fight, Brook was doing well, piecing up fucking Errol Spence. But obviously his face fell apart afterwards, and it was a bon voyage after that. But that's boxing. It is what it is. All we can do is be excited by the fights we get. That was the white lady who was always in the ring with Tony. Yes. His promoter or manager, sorry, his manager. Maybe Duva was his promoter, I think. Duva used to promote everybody, right? After the 1984 Olympics, fucking everybody from that team was a Lou Duva fighter. Whitaker, Taylor, Holyfield, fucking everyone. I don't know if the light heavyweight dude was, what's his name? Light-skinned dude, good jab. Virgil Hill. I don't know if he was a Lou Duva fighter, but maybe he was too. You can't find anyone who outboxed Kell. You have to destroy him in order to beat him. Oh, no, he's a good fighter. Fast hands. I rewatched that Golovkin fight on the weekend. And I was impressed by Kell Brook, the success he was having. The problem is he probably should have moved a little more. He was exchanging probably more than he should have. Against the murderous puncher in Golovkin. But, it's all fun. What was I watching? I was watching. Oh, I made a video about it. Did I post it? Dante's Boxing Nation. He was talking about the Wardley fucking Hooney fight. Man, that dude is capping for a black Englishman, hoping that a black guy beats Usyk, right? Because he don't have faith in fucking Daniel Dubois. I mean, if you don't have faith in Daniel Dubois, I don't know how much faith you're going to have in fucking Wardley, because Daniel Dubois is better than Wardley. But he's talking about fighters and he don't even know their name. Like Fraser Clark, he's calling him Clark Fraser. Like, do you realize how stupid you sound when you're acting like you're fucking an expert in boxing, but yet you don't even know the fucking fighter's name because you'd never seen that fight. You never watched the fight, right? But then you're going to come here on your channel talking all this bullshit, right, to the stupid guys that fucking follow you, who fucking are more ignorant to the sport of boxing than you are, that fucking are going to be walking and talking to other people, talking about, Clark Fraser. Oh, yeah, remember Wardley beat Clark Fraser. That was a fucking impressive win from what Dante told me. People are going to be like, who the fuck is Clark Fraser? The accountant? I think Gigi's power is slightly overrated. His skill set is what set up those stoppages. Great jab. Nobody remembers Kennedy had the flu against Kell. Were you having a midlife crisis when you got those tattoos? What do you think? I got the tattoos fucking after I became 40? Tattoos, if anybody has tattoos, are a life process. It's something that, you build up until later on in your life, and that's the whole art form, right? And it's a diary of your life, starting from when you first started to when you stopped. My first tattoo came in university, and obviously I've got tattoos in Taiwan as well. So it's traveled over 35 years of my life. So no, it was nothing to do with midlife crisis. That's why you bought a fucking red sports car and fucking put an earring in. I don't know. You're from Australia. So, I don't know what you could say about Australians. Midlife crisis. You married your sister, right? I don't know. What do Australians do for midlife crisis? Buy a kangaroo. Throw a shrimp on the Barbie. Drink a Foster's. Teal will not get a decision over Haney in Saudi Arabia. I don't think that's true. I think Saudi has shown that they are not very biased as far as that kind of stuff goes. Mr. Mirage worried about another man's tattoos like a Homo sapien. Yeah, he's like fucking Tank Davis fans, right? Like ego, fucking fawning over fucking Tank Davis leg tattoos. You want to see my leg tattoos? Stringer from above, not as bad as the dream, having to overcome Ryan weight bullying and using Osterine and still got up after each hook. If Brooke had Osterine, he beat Gigi. Fucking, he was on drugs. See, think about how stupid you sound that you're such a fucking simp for Devin Haney. Like, would you call yourself a boxing fan or fucking a gay rights activist? Because I don't understand how Mirage is fucking licking David Benavidez' ass like fucking, the guy can't wipe his ass for himself. And that's what you're doing for Devin Haney. Like, it's cool that you guys like these fighters, but you need to be such fucking simps for these dudes. Because nowhere in the world does anybody respect this kind of fucking crazy bullshit when you're like simping over a man. If you're simping over a bitch, I can understand. At least you're trying to get pussy. What are you trying to get from David Benavidez and fucking Devin Haney? Like, literally, what are you trying to get? Because you ain't getting nothing. Across social media boxing platforms, you look like fucking idiots. Literally. Kind of like Dante fucking spent the last 15, 20 years of his life trying to suck fucking Floyd Mayweather's cock. Like, it's ridiculous. We're talking about a heavyweight fight, and he starts talking about Floyd Mayweather as if that's relevant because the guy can't keep Floyd's name out of his mouth. That's what you guys sound like. There's a whole world of boxers, Not only Devin Haney. Like, literally, this whole video today hasn't been about Devin Haney. We talked about him only because he got a fight set up for Tio. But there's fights this weekend. Keyshawn Davis is fighting this weekend. Keyshawn Davis is a way fucking higher upside fighter than Devin Haney. But you won't like him because, he's with fucking Bud Crawford. So you're probably not really liking Shakur, Bud, or Keyshawn, right? Come on, man. You do sound fucking sus. Sus as hell. Waldo just got back from John Boxing. You're making a fool out of yourself. Of course he did. And he just echoes what JB says. You echo JB. I showed you fucking here. Let's look at the picture, man. Like, mongoloid. That's a birth defect, man. That's what that is. It's a birth defect. Mongolism, right? Eyes far apart, big ass forehead. Like, that's a genetic fucking birth defect that makes you look like that. But you're going to echo things he says. Oh, okay. Keep that up. That's going to fucking win you a lot. Damon, Gennady took Kel's soul while having the flu. Your boy got battered by a C-level pretty boy that doesn't even have the sport seriously. Gay rights activist. MJ doesn't excite me to fight Inui. Well, to be fair, I mean, I wasn't impressed by his last performance, but still at the same time, it's a fight that needs to happen. Obviously, the fight that we are excited about is fucking Junto, who's fighting this weekend, who we talked about today on this fucking video. Inui needs to get me excited about his opponents. Well, Rick, it just sounds like you're never going to get excited about someone unless it's a specific fighter. Every time Inui fights, it's exciting. That's the difference between him and Devin Haney. Every time Devin Haney fights, maybe it's going to be kind of exciting. Maybe. Probably not, but maybe. You never know. With Shakur, definitely not. With Inui, always exciting. Always. Sean cooking hard. Inui, where are we? Haney is the actual simp for marrying a sex worker. He was part of Taz Angel, the pimp stable. Well, that's also fucking cringe. That you fucking need to marry a fucking hooker. Because what? You can't fucking find a nice girl? Like a real one? Like, how much you think that's going to fucking last between you and a hooker? After she sucks you dry. No homo. Well, I guess that's not homo. Then she's just going to fucking go somewhere else. The next rapper that's available. Sean cooking hot pockets. When Wilder beats Dave Allen, will you cry? Me? Why would I give a fuck about Wilder versus Dave Allen. If Deontay Wilder is fighting Dave Allen, that's pathetic, man. That's pathetic. Like, really, you fucking got to fight Dave Allen at this point in your career, and I'm going to cry if Dave Allen gets beat? Unlike you, I don't fucking front for dudes just because they're white or the same color as me. I don't give a fuck if Dave Allen gets beat because Dave Allen is not relevant, just like Deontay Wilder, who's also not relevant because fucking he's fighting Dave Allen. Fighting Dave Allen. Joseph Parker is fucking 10 times as relevant as fucking Deontay Wilder. Bro looks like a mutant. Shout out to John Boxing. Yeah, of course you would. Because you're a simp. Most black boxing fans suffer from severe tribalism, and that's a fact. It's fucking completely a fact. Those dudes got the tattoos to prove it. Women's boxing is more entertaining than watching Haney. Depends on the women. Watching Savannah Marshall? No, that shit was boring as fuck. LWC just report wins from black boxers. It's a trip. That's all they do, right? They ignore fucking the losses. They only fucking highlight the wins, and then they just shit on everybody else that's doing great. Been doing it for fucking over 10 years. Devin Haney is giving us Loma undisputed, Kambosos undisputed, title fight with Regis, and now a two-time lineal and Tio. Inui's resume for his opponents are better. Better check that again. Well, first of all, Rick Porco, nobody said anything about Inui's resume being better than Devin Haney. What was exactly said is that Inui is a way more exciting fighter. Every time we see him get in the ring, it's exciting. And what Devin Haney has done as far as being fucking undisputed by beating one fighter, Kambosos, Inui has done in 2 weight divisions, fighting multiple world champions to do that. Literally needing to win fucking against 6 people to win 2 belts. Devin Haney won 1 belt, 1 undisputed by beating 1 fighter, George fucking Kambosos, who everybody knows is going to get beat by Richard Hitchens. Does that mean Richard Hitchens is a pound for pound number 2 fighter? Of course it doesn't. But you dudes are such simps, man, for fucking dudes like Haney. It's okay. You love Devin Haney, but I'm sure you could fucking cheer for fighters that are better than him, more exciting, and don't act like fucking bitches and get their dad to fucking fight for them when you're a fucking adult. My dad didn't fight for me when I was a fucking kid. But fucking Devin Haney's dad's fighting him for him as an adult. Oh my God. That's some simp behavior. Good comeback. Fight for Bomb Squad. Oh, yeah. Ryan already exposed Haney, and Haney now is a runner. No wonder John turned off his camera that one time he debated IBFP. Haney beat the prime Kambosos coming off of a whooping for Tio. Keep telling yourself that, man. He didn't do it as well as Lomachenko did, who fucking is the first person to knock fucking George Kambosos out. Going undisputed against who? 40-year-old Nonito and Paul Bunyan. See, once again, you're trying to highlight Devin Haney beating George Kambosos, a guy whose career amounts to 1 victory and fucking a ton of losses. Donaire is a future Hall of Famer who is a 4-weight world champion and a 3-time bantamweight champion. Kambosos was lucky he beat Teofimo Lopez, and that's his claim to fame. Lots of people had fucking 1 fight where they were successful and then went on to do nothing for their whole life. But only Devin Haney fans somehow earmark that as being fucking somehow groundbreaking. As if, oh my God, he's pound for pound number 2 because he beat George Kambosos and fucking robbed Lomachenko. Only in America do you fight and have 3 American judges. Literally, only in America. Nowhere else in the globe would you have a world title fight that had 3 fighters from the same country. Literally nowhere in the world. Nowhere. Only in America. Prime Kambosos really doesn't mean much. Not much. Devin Haney is the worst and never shuts his trap. Bill Haney's fucking terrible. Oh my God. Fathers should just shut the fuck up. Ryan's dad, he's not so bad. Tio's dad, shut the fuck up. Drunk motherfucker. Devin Haney's dad, please. Nobody needs to listen to your fucking sorry ass. Danny Garcia's dad. These dads should just shut the fuck up. Take a page out of Inui and Lomachenko's dad's playbook. They're there, but their sons are the highlight. The sons are the stars. The sons are the ones that people want to talk to, not the fucking dads, because no one wants to talk to those dads. Of course, Cambosis was washed up versus Loma, but yet when Richard Hitchens beats him, I guarantee you're going to be like, oh yeah, black excellence. Just wait. You're going to fucking contradict yourself and look like a fucking tool in the process. Them two dream beatings ruined Cambosis. Oh my God. Something fucking Devin Haney's never done was beat somebody. Loma weight trained Haney and the Dream still pulled it off. How do you weight train a guy who was an undisputed champion at the weight? You can't weight train a guy who's the champion. What are you, mental? I mean, I know you are mental. The fact that you need to fucking run around on a fake channel so you can say fucking stupid shit and act as if, you know, you're not held accountable to it. But like, dude, man, literally, are you a fucking adult? Because the way you act, your kids would fucking laugh at you and be like, what the fuck, man? What's wrong with this dude? That's your kids. And I don't think your kids are fucking older than fucking 10 years old. Maybe I'm wrong. Damon crashing out. Hitchens versus Campos is like Devin Haney, Campos is 3. Exactly. That's exactly what it's like. To be fair, I'll give Devin Haney more credit than Richard Hitchens. Lomachenko's father is a respectable man. Bill Haney is a loudmouth hood. I won't say a hood. I mean, he's from Oakland, so in truth, it's probably closer to the truth. But he is just a big mouth. The fucking fact this dude needs to go out and try to fucking fight everyone to contradict everything. He just sounds like a fucking idiot. Literally. Like, I've never fucking sat and watched the whole fucking interview with him because literally after the first question, I'm like, fuck this clown. I don't watch boxing to watch these dads fucking talk. I don't know which people do. I mean, I do. The usual suspects, right? They fucking, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, they're fucking critical of all these non-black fathers that were fucking talking crazy, but they all fucking got Devin Haney's dad's back. Yet he's talking crazy too. Let's keep the same energy. All these dads talking crazy, shut the fuck up. We have fatigue here in the States on all this ninja behavior, especially now that it's bled over to sports. Fucking black fatigue is a real fucking thing, man. And you ask black Americans and they fucking say the same thing. They call it the ninja fatigue, but nonetheless, you know, we know what it is. It's fucking uneducated, fucking hood rats that fucking gone run wild, right? And we fucking see them all over fucking video. They're the ones videotaping it. Literally, they're the ones videotaping themselves getting caught doing the stupidest shit ever, which makes fucking the whole culture look fucking bad, right? The people that need to clean that shit up are black Americans because this shit is making you look bad. You think back to black Americans in the past, dressed up nice, churchgoers, wearing suits and hats, looking very fucking pimped out, dressed nice, right? The women dressed nice, wholesome, wearing nice dresses, you know, nice hairdos, very respectable, people very educated. And of course, there's people like that still. But we don't see them because they're overwhelmed by this fucking hood rat culture that fucking is all over social media. The worst thing that social media did is fucking shine a light on these fucking people because it just makes black Americans look bad. And the people that really hate it more than anyone else are black Americans. Because imagine you're an educated black American guy who comes from a very well-off family, upper middle class, who within your culture, you're called a sellout because you speak educated. You don't fucking use Ebonics. You got an education. You're fucking getting a real job, right? And literally within your culture, you're criticized. You date a white girl and fucking somehow now that's the fucking end of the world, right? Really? but I could date a black girl. You think fucking my parents are gonna fucking make a big deal about it? No, my uncle's married to a black woman. My fucking grandmother remarried to a black man in the States. Like literally, nobody would give a fuck. But within the black culture, if the brother marries a white girl, somehow it's an issue. But where's the racism coming from? Like, ask me that question. I mean, come on, man. People need to fucking grow up. And the hood rats need to turn their fucking cameras off because you're looking fucking bad. Bad. Dante and Ego are still making biased videos. It's incredible. Those dudes will never end because they're making money, right? They're fucking exploiting black culture and fucking media fake racism to fucking make money off of boxing. That's all they're doing. They found a niche and they're just fucking working it. John Boxing got cooked bad by IBFP. Surprised he didn't try to close down IBFP's channel. I'm surprised too. I'm sick of it here in the States, and I can't wait to move out from New York City. It's too bad. New York is a great city, but unfortunately the government there are fucking terrible as well. For a city as great and as diverse as New York. I've been to New York twice, and both times I had great times. Loved the city. It was excellent. I said if I had lots of money, I'd buy a fucking, a loft apartment in New York. But when you look at some of the stuff that's going on, and it's just a democratic government that rules that city, fuck, man, it's ridiculous. You are right. Social media gave these people a spotlight to shine. And it ain't shining bright. It ain't shining bright. Like that spotlight, turn that shit off because it's making your fucking people look bad. Your people look bad because of you, right? It's like I come to Taiwan. I don't fucking act like a hood rat in Taiwan to make all white people look bad in front of fucking Taiwanese people. The opposite. I'm super polite, well-behaved, and when people look at me, I hope that they think, Canadians are so good, so friendly, so polite, right? That's the way I represent my people when I travel outside of Canada. No hood rat fucking behavior. There are people that are doing that shit in Taiwan and Japan and fucking around the world. We just saw that Israeli girl fucking in Thailand, right? Fucking, if you ever met Israelis fucking traveling around the world, cunts. Not that I have a problem with Israelis. It's just because of their circumstance, post-World War II, living in the middle of fucking all these Muslims, they're so fucking connected. They don't trust outsiders. They travel around the world in groups and they just don't accept other people. So they come off really fucking spoiled, entitled, and not friendly at all. And that girl, she's fucking like every single fucking Israeli I met when I traveled around the world. I met two dudes that didn't travel with Israelis. Super cool, nicest guys ever, right? Because they're not buying into that. They're trying to meet people from around the world. They're trying to experience something, unlike the rest of these people. I'm really curious to see what Boots' team does. If he's getting a champion at 147, you aren't moving to 154. I just don't get why you didn't fight Teo. I don't get it. Because you ain't getting the champ at 147. Barrios and fucking what's-his-face are both busy. Meaning you're going to be sitting around doing nothing and you're struggling to make weight. So obviously you better be moving to 154. But you move to 154, who are you going to fight? Right? You might as well have taken that Teo fight, knock his ass out, got that clout and that paycheck, and then moved to 154 and tried to work towards a big Virgil Ortiz fight. I wish I could make a debate with Ring IQ completely destroying JB. It was hilarious to watch him stumble through his narrative. He stumbles through his narrative whenever he fucking opens his mouth on live video. The elephant in the room is that the hood black community is unacceptable to lose a fight to a white man. That is why Canelo, Loma, Fury, and Usyk get all the hate. Exactly. Right? It's that fucking macho mentality. And obviously, every race fucking wants to represent. But, yeah. It just becomes fucking sickening after a certain point. Showbiz said Charlo has one of the best jabs he's ever seen. He's ranked number 2 with the WBA and in line for a big fight. Charlo has a great jab. That's true. But you're going to put him number 2 based on fighting a bum ass opponent that literally came up from 160? Like literally, Lamana fought Lara at 160 for the WBA title, got knocked out in one fucking round. Charlo fought him at 168. And fucking, what did the fight go? 6 rounds? 7 rounds? Like, come on, man. You fought a bum. I hope you look good against a bum. I mean, what kind of fan base would hate on Usyk? Most of the black fan base can't accept that Usyk is pound for pound number 1. Well, they just can't accept any non-black fighter being the best fighter in the sport, right? They just can't accept that. I mean, they can't accept the same thing in the NBA. They can't accept that in any fucking walk of life. I hope a white guy ends up fucking, or an Asian guy wins the fucking 100 in the next Olympics, because fucking people will fucking lose their mind. Literally. They'll go fucking mental, because these people are so fucking racially focused. Everything revolves around fucking race. It's crazy. Plant versus Andrade should fight. Think that's safe for both of them at this stage. Well, Andrade should fight Charlo. Fabio Wardley has a nice jab. There are Mexicans who still have Canelo pound for pound number 1. People are tribalistic by nature. That's true. But not everybody fucking buys in so hard. I'm white. Do I only fucking support white boxers? Or white basketball players? Or white athletes in general? Literally, whites should get more fucking praise. You heard it here. Because literally, we're 7% of the global population. So, with such a small fucking world population, we're killing it in fucking sports. Killing it. Boots equals another carefully matched fighter. Well, you were hoping once he went to DAZN and Eddie Hearn Matchroom that shit was going to change. This is why I started supporting UK boxers. AJ, Wardley, Dubois are gentlemen compared to Broner and Charlo. That's true. Chamal Charlo's jab is a thing of beauty. It is. No, he's got a great jab, right? I always liked him better than his brother. The problem is he's a mental case who fucking was protected his whole career. So we never got to see how good he really was because he didn't fight anybody. LWC fanboys think Moten is a phenom and that kid is as mid as it gets. He's 18, right? So I don't know. All I know is when I compare him to Abdullah Mason, no. Look what they're doing to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. It's wild and unfortunate. Man, that shit's just crazy. I heard Griner literally come out and say basketball was better before Caitlin Clark because it was quieter. We didn't get so much fans at the games, so there was no pressure. We could do what we wanted. I could sit there on my laptop and do some work. She said that. Excuse me. Yet these are the same girls complaining they're not making enough money and they should get paid the same as the NBA. So they want to get paid, but not do the fucking work. Caitlin Clark is changing the WNBA for the benefit of all the women that are there, regardless of fucking color. Caitlin Clark is bringing eyes to the league. They're all going to get more money because their contract is being redone. And thanks to Caitlin Clark and the TV views that they're getting when she's playing, because obviously she's hurt and fucking the ratings have fell like crazy. She's the only one that fucking sells anything in the WNBA. But then people are going to make it a racial thing. 70% of the population in America is white. Maybe it's not so much, 60 something, which means if you want to fucking grab a fan base, that's the fan base you want to grab because that's the biggest fucking group of people in America. But just that mentality, it's stupid. SGA numbers versus the Pacer this year, 39, 7, 8, and 1. You mean his average or combined in the 2 games they played? Y'all, Charlo had more talent than Jamel. I've never seen a Mexican or white boxing community that pulls their race card harder than the LEBC. It's sickening. No, there is no group in the world that pulls race more than fucking the YouTube black boxing community. None. Never has been. Never fucking will be. Just look at America fucking day to day, right? Black Americans can fucking say the most racist shit on social media, on TikTok, on everything towards white people. Not a big deal. That's fucking don't mean anything. Brittany Griner can fucking say that fucking white girl to Caitlin Clark, right? But you can't say anything against a black person if you're white, especially a white male. Brittany just wants to bully women and scissor all day. That's true. They should have just left her fucking ass in Russia, literally, because nobody really fucking cared. She's lucky that fucking they actually went to the effort to get her out, because in truth, like we'd miss her. Who gives a fuck? Brittany is brutal. I still can't believe U.S. traded Russia for her. Traded Russia for a terrorist. For her, as if she's significant, something that people fucking need to give a fuck about. You're so stupid. You're bringing marijuana into Russia, and you play professional in Russia. You know what you can do and what you can't do. Yet you're going to do that. That's like me going to Thailand, right? And buying fucking those weed gummies and bringing them back to Taiwan, and then being shocked and surprised when I get thrown in jail and then fucking deported from the country. Oh my God, I'm getting deported. Where's my rights? Shouldn't I get to go to court and fucking defend myself? How come I'm getting deported? That's not fair. How can a country deport me? Only in America do fucking illegal immigrants fucking deserve to be defended, right? Literally, if I get caught drinking and driving, I'm going to get fined fucking huge and then kicked out of the country. Even though I didn't kill anyone, I paid my fine, blah, 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 blah. Taiwanese people, they got the same shit happening to them. Obviously, they're not being deported, but I will be deported because I'm not Taiwanese. If I got caught with drugs, I'll be thrown in jail for a month if it's just small rehab, and then I'll be deported. If it's more, I'll go to jail like my friend that I knew for a couple of years and then be deported, right? Like, nobody's fucking, you don't see any American fucking governor coming over here to talk about my friend that was thrown in jail in Taiwan because he got caught growing fucking weed plants on his roof. Brittany is the next Money Mayweather. They used to cry every year about how fans didn't pay attention to the sport, but now that white women's heating things up, it's an issue. Exactly. And when they want to make it about race, there's been tons of white women in the sport who didn't grab this kind of buzz. Fucking, what's her face? Sue Bird, great player. I love Sue Bird. Also a sweetheart. You listen to her talk, she's very likable. There's nothing not to like about Sue Bird. And then she played with Lauren Jackson, tall, white Australian girl who was fucking great. Great. That tandem won titles for Seattle. Great. But nobody fucking was watching them. They weren't bringing all the eyes that Caitlin Clark is bringing. But yet they were the fucking Stockton Malone of the WNBA. Then you got Taurasi, who fucking is called the GOAT. The GOAT. Not a black woman, a white woman. Taurasi. Right? But then everything got to be made about race. What do you mean make about race? There's been lots of white girl. Right now you got fucking the girl Plum in Los Angeles. Then you got the girl in New York. Fucking what's her face? Both white girls, similar type of players than Caitlin Clark. Nobody was fucking going crazy with them either. They got a little bit of hype, right? A little bit on the down low, but not to the extent that Caitlin Clark is getting. Not anywhere fucking close to it. And people got to make it into a race thing. How's it a fucking race thing? I gave you several examples of similar circumstances that didn't grab people's attention like Caitlin Clark did. Imagine fucking people shitting on Tiger Woods because he was black playing golf. Asian and black. So you got two fucking demographics covered. Outside of that Fuzzy Zeller fucking Augusta, fried chicken and watermelon fucking statement that what's his name? Fuzzy Zeller made. I didn't see any other fucking racial stuff inside the golf community. But there was that one. Only place I see the WNBA drama stuff is in Twitter. No one defends Caitlin Clark because they are scared about cancel culture. It's a mess. I defend her all over my basketball channel. Go check it out. Sean on Ball. I defend her constantly because the hypocrisy is no different than fucking what we deal with here in the boxing community. So I'm a voice for reason. Both sides are narrative driven. Most people don't actually give a fuck about women's basketball. That's true. That's true. But to be fair, right now in basketball, the most popular people are LeBron, Curry, and Caitlin Clark. So within the basketball community, even if you don't watch games, you know who Caitlin Clark is. She's getting a lot of buzz. Look at those college games that she was doing. Huge numbers. Her game so far, huge numbers in the W as well. Numbers tell you the truth. Outside of her games, nobody gives a fuck. Her games, people do. When I go to work in the morning, I pay attention to Caitlin Clark's games to see what kind of game she has. Other people, nowadays, because I'm paying attention, I look a little bit afterwards, but mostly to see Angel Reese play shit. You know, the funniest thing, John Boxing, you can go check out his channel. He put on an ugly picture of Caitlin Clark, right? Two of them, two memes, trying to shit on her, saying she's ugly. What does her being ugly have to do with her being a basketball player? Like, to be fair, being the sexist that I am, women's sports that I like to watch usually fucking have hot, sexy girls. And that's the only thing that makes me interested in watching them. If you had a few more sexy fucking girls in the WNBA, I'd probably be a little more focused on watching those girls play. Kind of like when we had Michelle Wee in golf, Kornikova, and a few others in tennis, right? You have sexy girls in track and field, high jump, right? I like the high jump event. Those girls are sexy and all legs. But if there's not sexy girls, I ain't nearly fucking that interested. Why do you think beach volleyball became so popular? Sexy fucking girls with long legs wearing fucking bathing suits. Because men are men. We watch men's sports, we drink fucking beer, and we like watching fucking half-naked girls jump around, having their tits bounce up and down. Because we're easily fucking, satisfied. It's as easy as that. A beer, a TV, men's sports, and half-naked women jumping around. It's the perfect day. That's my weekend, right? Unfortunately, women are not like that. They're never fucking happy, never satisfied. But the irony is Caitlin Clark ain't getting this attention because she's attractive. That would be fucking, what's her face? The girl from UConn. She's attractive. She's a lesbian. Her girlfriend's pretty hot too. I could totally watch that porn between those two. That wouldn't be too bad. I'd be gung-ho. But nobody's watching Caitlin Clark because she's attractive. We're watching her because she's fucking a great basketball player. Which highlights that she's a great basketball player. Because men aren't watching her because of sexuality. But John Boxing put out these terrible pictures of Caitlin Clark trying to fucking shit on her because she ain't fucking attractive. It's like, okay, who gives a fuck? You don't hear anyone on social media saying, I would love to fucking throw it to Caitlin Clark. Literally nobody says that. Because that's not why people are paying attention to Caitlin Clark. Some people are saying that to Angel Reese because literally her basketball fucking skills are shit. So the only thing worth talking about is the fact that they like to fuck her. But outside of that, there's nothing else good to fucking talk about her. She's garbage. Fucking girl can't make a fucking layup. Literally can't make a fucking layup.
That's how I knew that.
How you can't make a layup when you call yourself a professional basketball player? Oh my God. Fucking, of course, Black Captain America. I can't wait till they make a fucking Asian Black Panther. Imagine John Boxing. He'll lose his fucking mind. Look, there you go. So he posts that, trying to shit on Caitlin Clark. And then this. And now look what people are saying about fucking Angel Reese. It's funny because people are going to say, racism, it's racism. You can't make fun of a sister like that, but you can make fun of a white girl, right? Exposing fucking the clear double standard, man. The fact that it's okay to make fun of a white girl or a white person. Angel Reese meme. Meme. How do you spell meme? They did something that made her look like she's fucking got eyes like John on either side of her face. Oh, Ice Age. There it is. The Ice Age character. Right? And this is going to be racism. Imagine, John Boxing's going to come out and make a fucking video about this because people are being racist towards Angel Reese, saying that she looks like the Ice Age fucking character. Because that's how fucking stupid people are. I admit Caitlin Clark has Ace Ventura pet detective vibe, but she seems cool. Sean's going. Didn't the player poke Caitlin Clark's eye with those damn claws the WNBA women are allowed to play with? It's wild, man. I don't know how a woman is allowed to play with long fingernails. Like, that shit should be banned, man. Like, apparently fucking the girl, the sexy blonde girl that plays with Caitlin Clark, she's got a cross, and she gets fined because she wears jewelry. But these girls got earrings in their ears, fucking you got long fingernails. You should not be able to play basketball with long fingernails. That girl ended up poking Paige Beckers in the eye recently as well, because that's what's going to happen when you have those fucking long fingernails. First of all, that's why she's garbage. She can only play defense because with those nails, you're not going to fucking shoot very well. That's why she can't score, right? All she is a defensive player. But, whatever. Even ex-players shit on Clark. Yeah, that's true. It's jealousy and hate. They can't stand that Clark is better. Caitlin Clark is not a lesbian, which automatically keeps her out of the club. Well, I mean, Reese isn't a lesbian either. She's fucking football players. She's fucking everybody. But, she's a sister, so she can get away with that. Even though I did hear about a sister previously who retired early because she said the toxic fucking feminism or lesbianism in the WNBA was just too much. Too much. And you can imagine. Caitlin Clark literally is on social media holding a black kid because her coach, right, has a kid. So your coach has a kid. The kid's there. So, of course, women are going to hold kids, man. That's like natural. Even I hold my friends' kids. And, I hold them like this, but nonetheless, I still hold them, right? Or upside down by their feet. But still, I hold them. She's holding this kid, and people are going, oh, look at Caitlin Clark. She's holding a black kid, hoping this is going to win her over black fans. Oh, people not going to think she's racist because she's holding a black kid. This is how fucking demented people are. Demented. If you go to Caitlin Clark right now and go baby on social media, there's a million pictures of her with kids. White kids, Asian kids, black kids, all kinds of kids. But only when there's color involved does some stupid fucking people make it about race. Hating on sisters, I see. How am I hating on sisters? Who's hating on sisters? Like, see, once again, somebody that's just fucking brain dead. Nobody's hating on sisters. I'm pointing out the fact that the WNBA is shooting itself in their foot by hating on Caitlin Clark. They want to get paid money, but then they're trying to fucking ruin the cash fucking cow. The stupidity. They didn't learn anything from fucking Tiger Woods in golf, Michael Jordan in fucking basketball, Ronaldo and Messi in football. Like, when you have a cash cow, you fucking milk that cow for everything you can get out of it because it benefits everybody, the sisters included. The sisters are going to be the ones who benefit the most because fucking 70% of the league is sisters. So literally, they're the ones who are going to benefit huge from Caitlin Clark and more money to the WNBA. Nobody's going to benefit as much as the sisters. Nobody. But Rick Parko, why does Caitlin Clark get hate on from the sisters? You can't ask a guy who makes stupid statements that kind of question, because he's the kind of guy that fucking has a blatant fucking double standard. He thinks black people are better than white people. Rick thinks that. So you can't have a normal conversation with him, because really he believes he's better than everybody that's not black. Right? So how do you have a conversation with somebody who's a racist and feels that they are superior? You can't. You can't have conversations with people like that. That's why Rick doesn't respond, because he got nothing to say unless he's capping or fucking simping. Where can I watch the last video that was taken down? My video. It's in my private group, so if you can watch it, you're like a member, so it's there. It's there, but there's no sound because I couldn't put sound because they wouldn't let it even play there with sound, even though the sound is just music. But you know how YouTube is with music, so it's not a big deal. You still have like the talk, like the subtitles on the video. So all it's talking about is white excellence. That's all. How you should feel proud to be white, and you should. All the world's fucking that we live in was created by white people. Sorry, that's true. Big giant cities like New York City, created by white people. The America, created by white people. Fucking spaceships, airplanes, the world we live in now today, computers, robots. You know, the civilization we created is created by white people. It doesn't mean other people weren't involved in creating stuff. Of course they were. But when other people dominated the world, we did not have the world we had today. When the Mongolians were dominating half the world, the culture was not like it was today. You did not have great things being developed. Obviously, Rome had a great sort of run there for a while, but yeah, didn't last forever. All cultures should be proud, but white because it's racist. Yeah, you can't be proud to be white. You can be proud to be everything else. Lesbian, Mormon, everything, but not fucking white. The greatest inventions, white people. And that's not racist. I'm just saying Europeans conquered the world, and literally the world today that we live in is a result of that conquering the world and building these cities and building the infrastructure and building the fucking phenomenal world that we live in today, where literally we can sit here talking on a computer all around the world, fucking have a computer the size of a phone that we bring everywhere we go. Like, the world is fucking growing exponentially. And obviously people have all contributed to it. I'm not taking away from Indians and Asians and Black Africans and Black Americans and Black Europeans and, you know, Muslims and brown people. But the reason they're a part of this development is because Europeans conquered and created, and then everything grew upon that foundation that was started. Right? Imagine where the world would be if Europeans didn't do that. I mean, the Chinese never wanted to leave China. They still don't. They act like they will, but the Chinese have never been adventurous like that. The Japanese, but that just created World War II. Mongolians, obviously they did, but that fell apart. You know, it is what it is. Indigenous people were killing each other for centuries. Don't be salty because the white man was better at conquering territory and developing it, building it up, seeing a bigger picture, you know, harvesting, growing, you know, not fucking chasing animals seasonally, but fucking literally building a fucking home, building a city, building a structure, right? You know, Haiti was great with white leaders, and now it's a war zone. But that's true for lots of places. Not specifically only white people, but sometimes when you have a dictatorship, things were better. I remember when I was in Malawi. Malawi had a black dictator, president. The country obviously is small, but they were surrounded by Tanzania and Zimbabwe. Obviously, Zimbabwe was the wealthiest country in Africa at that time, and Tanzania is big and has a lot going on for itself as well. And they were trapped in the middle. But obviously, it's not a bad sandwich. You got two trading countries with lots of money. They fucking were prospering. When he got voted out because people didn't want a dictator, they voted in their free government. Now, nobody forced them to grow fucking food. So there was a shortage of food because people were lazy. They only grew as much food as they needed short term. They didn't think long term. And when I went there, fucking tons of people had no food, tons of begging, right? You know, all a result of because you didn't have a government that fucking held people accountable. Unfortunately, people are fucking lazy, ignorant. A lot of people are stupid, and they need a strong government to fucking maneuver them. You know, obviously, look at China, how successful they've been under their government, Russia as well. Sometimes communism and dictatorships, whether you like it or not, the country benefits because they force people to work and be productive. Any culture would colonize territory sooner or later. It's just that whites were first and most successful. Our territories were attacked by Ottomans, Islam for a long time, of course. The whole things between Muslims and Christians, I mean, how long was that whole back and forth going on? The Ottoman Empire was fucking huge, huge, right? Giant. I mean, up until World War One, and I think after that, things kind of changed, territorial. South African politician filled an entire soccer stadium and started chanting, "Kill the white farmers." Can you believe that? Yeah, I know about him. When I went to South Africa 18 years ago, he was young and still saying the same kind of thing. Julius Malema. Yeah, he hasn't changed. He's just old, fat, and richer now, but still getting ignorant people with nothing who are poor, even though they've had a black run country for fucking 25 years now. And they're not better off now than they were before when there was fucking apartheid, right? They're not better off. And literally, you got to rile the fucking people. So you rile them with racism, right? So even though these kids weren't even around during apartheid, they fucking are not even 25 years old. Obviously, their families grew up with apartheid, so they've heard stories, I suppose, from uncles and grandparents and whatnot. But you know, the reason they're fucked now has nothing to do with white people because the government's run by fucking blacks. The ANC's run the South African government for over 25 years since Nelson Mandela took over. But that country's just fucking things up. They're ruining the country the same way they ruined Zimbabwe, which was the richest country in Africa. And now that country's fucking garbage, right? Still has the same things, all the things that were there before that white colonialism fucking took advantage of and made money and built on. Now it's there without white colonizers, and it's a shithole that's not doing anything. And people have no jobs, no tourism, and no food. Right? Yeah, I mean, the problem is people love to use hate to manipulate. That's what we're talking about, Ego and Dante and the LDBC. They use hate to manipulate so they can make money off of fucking racism in America. These people are no different, right? The reality is, you know, I wish everybody lived well around the whole world. We don't need war and fighting. Now fucking people, Trump is trying to stop the Russian fucking Ukraine war, and people act like they don't want the war to be stopped. They want Ukraine to keep fighting until they beat Russia. It's like, what are you, stupid? Of course, it's easy for you to say because you're not at risk. People are mental, man. South Africa's military were the only ones blasting communist insurgents out of existence since the 60s. This is why they were targeted and taken down by global Marxism first. Really? You mean in Africa? Haiti is desperate, needs a white French leadership, all jokes aside. Well, Haiti is a disaster area, that's for sure, fucking for a long time. Natural disasters didn't help, right? Like, I saw the best picture yesterday. It was Japan. Japan got hit by a huge earthquake, which Japan does, like Taiwan. We're on a huge fault. So, Taiwan, Japan, uh, inevitably, we're going to have big fucking earthquakes. Japan got hit by a huge earthquake, which created a tsunami, which fucking ruptured a nuclear power plant and had tons of Japanese people move to Taiwan afterwards. But what does Japan do when faced with a problem? They built this big giant fucking wall around that part of the country that was susceptible to tsunamis, which is fucking as tall as the trees. Literally, this picture is like fucking some gothic crazy movie that you watch. Literally, the wall is this high, and the trees are fucking under it or just about the same height. And it's a forest area, so it's just fucking trees. And then this big, long, giant wall along the coast, and then rocks to help break up the fucking waves, and then just the ocean. And it's like, this is what Japan does when faced with a problem, right? They don't blame people, point fingers, make excuses. They fucking do what they need to do. After getting bombed by the Americans with nuclear weapons, what do? They built up the country and became one of the fucking richest countries in the world. Cleanest, safest, most successful. No one's moaning and groaning, pointing fingers at the US, hating on Americans for fucking dropping nuclear bombs and killing their families and their fucking relatives. No. Larry Hoover is considered a hero in the US urban community, and that is the main part of the problem. A career gang leader is a role model to these urban youth and older men. Well, yeah, that's what we were saying, like about fucking what's his face, who just had his anniversary, 5-year anniversary, fucking a drug user, a fucking crook, a fucking crackhead, and meanwhile he's a role model. It's like, man, what happened to role models like fucking Martin Luther King? Strong voices, well spoken, right? Religious, family man. Even if you disagreed with Malcolm X, Malcolm X also well spoken, dressed well, represented the people well, obviously very fucking religious, from the Muslim perspective. Ended up going to Mecca, changed his perspective, came back not anti-white anymore, pro-Muslim, but not anti-white. He understood that everybody could be Muslim, whites, blacks, browns, Asians, everybody. So it's not a race thing. And then obviously that's when the black community killed him, right? People would rather have these negative leaders, but meanwhile you're going to complain about Trump. You might not like Trump. I can understand people think Trump is an idiot, but Trump gets shit done. And that's all you can ask. Get shit done. At the end of 4 years, I want to see America better off than it was before he took the power. And if that's the case, I will say success. And it's been a long time since we saw any political leaders do fucking anything. Most of these guys are douchebags, bought and paid for from big corporations, just yes men that do nothing globally. But, it is what it is. I love countries that maintain their culture. Paris feels like being an African city. My Dubai and Japan trips were refreshing. Well, see, that's the problem that I have too. People think somehow when Europe wants to keep their culture, it's racist. But meanwhile, Africa wants to kick all the whiteys out to keep their culture. Well, first of all, you're not South African to begin with. You also immigrated to South Africa just like the Dutch did. So it ain't really your culture. And what culture did you have? The South African culture was fucking nomad people like Australia. Most of them are fucking gone and dusted. Very small population now. But it's okay for Africa to keep their culture. But Europe can't keep their culture. Asia can keep their culture. India can keep their culture. You can say America, but people say, well, it's the Indian culture. Well, unfortunately, the Indians ended up being taken over by foreigners. So now it's the American culture, right? And Americans want to keep the American culture, which is not being run over by fucking miserable fucking immigrants who fucking hate the country they immigrated to. Like my problem is I don't mind immigration, the cultural diversity, the food, it's excellent. Right now you got Chinese New Year everywhere in Canada and the States. You see it all the time. It's cool. But you also don't see Chinese people hating on America and hating on fucking Canada, talking about wanting to fucking get rid of the religion and change everything and fucking disbanding it, right? Like you move to a country. If you hate the country, why did you move there? If you don't like what they stand for, you don't like their culture, you don't like fucking the things that they believe in, why are you immigrating there? I immigrated to Taiwan. If I fucking hated Taiwan, why would I stay? Like, what an idiot would I be living in a country that I hate? Right? It would be ridiculous. Obviously, you live somewhere, it's culturally different. Taiwan obviously is different than Canada, but you embrace the differences. You like it or you don't. If you don't, move fucking home. I don't expect Taiwanese people to change because of me. Obviously, I need to be more flexible because I'm moving to a new country. But yes, immigration is a big problem. But that's what they say. You know, what's that replacement theory? That's fact. That fucking shit is fact. The fucking replacement theory throughout Europe right now and North America. That's the reason they opened up the border. This replacement theory. 7% of the population is white now, globally. But they just want to fucking run all white people out of the earth completely, as if that's going to fucking make things better. Okay. I can't wait to see the results of fucking that. Get rid of all the white people. Oh man, like oh yeah, fucking world's gonna be great. World's gonna be great. I can't wait. You know, being run by fucking radical Muslims, and fucking Chinese communists and fucking you know. Okay, it'll be interesting. It's like a Star Wars episode. Is it terrible for me to say I want to visit Japan and not see 80% Africans? And I also don't want to visit Nigeria and see 80% blonde population? No, that's to be true. When you travel somewhere, you expect to embrace the culture, especially if it's a country with a strong culture like Nigeria or Japan. Sweden is paying the price right now. Yes, they are. Non-white rule, hell on earth. I won't say that, but Asia is not ruled by white people. It's doing very well, but it's also safe. But there's pros and cons. Which Asia do you want? Run by fucking the communist Chinese or everybody else? Singapore, also very strict, but great country, very clean. A very high standard of living. Taiwan, getting better all the time. Asians only care about Asians. That's true. That's true. But then you would say that about all cultures, in a sense. What's up? We could say that about everybody, that they only care about themselves. That's why I say just mix everyone, and then nobody knows what they are. But even then, people are still going to hate on each other. You're darker, your hair is curlier, your eyes are blue. Fucking, there's always going to be something. Black community, people hate on each other because of colorism. In Asia, people hate on each other for colorism. They're still black, they're still fucking Asian, but they still fucking find racism and hate. I wonder why Saudi and the UAE don't need to take migration, only qualified workers, but in EU, natives are a minority in many cities. That's because they say, fuck you. You can't immigrate here. Go fuck yourself. Unfortunately, Europe is being controlled by fucking an underground organization that's fucking controlling the government, doing this on purpose. Even though those people are white. So I don't understand what the end game is. These white people that control fucking everything are fucking pushing in this fucking replacement theory and filling the countries full of immigrants, overrunning the countries, changing everything, using racism. So I think they're doing this purposely. Remember, I don't know if you guys are old enough, but when George Bush Sr. was in power, they're talking about New World Order, when there was going to be one global government that controls the whole globe, right? Kind of like Star Wars. How do you have something like this happen? Well, something like this happens when shit gets to a point where now you need to put the fucking clamps down, right? So you got to have serious shit happen for fucking people to put the clamps down. First, you have a giant fucking pandemic that kills tons of people. You do different things, and these are the steps in place, and they got the long game fucking in plan, right? These shit's been going on for a long time. I don't know if you guys remember the English philosopher. What's his name? I forget, but he was talking about global population was too much. We got to fucking get rid of global population back in the 50s. And the global population is way bigger now than it was then. But they were already planning all these shit fucking for decades and decades and decades, moving things into place, right? They got fucking a long plan, and we're just fucking, resources. That's all. It's not about race. It's about ethnic groups that will always be in conflict. Well, that's what they want. They want to create conflict so eventually they can go in and fucking take over, where you need a government to fucking protect and serve. Due to weak border policies and weak government in the States. Yeah. Oh, well. But you can't tell people shit because people think everything is fucking a conspiracy. Yeah, just because you fucking label something doesn't mean it's not real. UAE has laws in place for foreign business owners where they only own 49% of the business and only 51% must be owned by Emirates who sponsor the foreigners. Yeah, that's the same in Asia as well. Like a lot of places in Asia are the same. You got to have 51% foreign ownership if you want to break into the market. China and stuff are like that, similar as well. That's why I was always hoping that somebody would use my visa so I could get money for nothing and the chicks for free, right? Use my visa to start up a business. That's okay, right? I'll help you slide in. And then once you get in there, just pay me just to fucking be the figurehead. It's okay. No problem. Just don't leave me in a position where I'm going to get sued because I'm not responsible. But thanks everyone for jumping in. It's 11 o'clock. It's time for me to get ready. I got to work in the morning. The fucking grind. But obviously, we're going to be talking a lot of boxing this week. Keyshawn Davis going to be talked about as potentially pound for pound after he demolishes fucking De Los Santos. Junto Nakatani solidifying himself as a pound for pound fighter when he becomes unified, something Tank Davis has never done and is 4 or 5 years older. Jay Opataya going to go in there and knock a motherfucker's head off. And people are going to be talking about why Zurdo Ramirez is ducking his ass because that's what's happening. But I will see you this weekend. Live boxing, great fights. See you then. Peace out, everyone. Have a good week.